Alright, so a couple of things on this video. Next steps of the lay the draw strategy. I'm going to first of all go through last night's games, and then I've prepped games for this evening, Friday, and also tomorrow. Not the whole of the weekend, just tomorrow, and there's a reason for that I'll come on to. I've also added my new strategy here, which I'm going to go on to first. Actually, let's cover that first because you can see the first part of it on the screen there. So I'll move along. So strategy 4, and bearing in mind we're still just looking at strategy 1, but during the time I'm doing this, I'm doing some research to refine everything. So strategy 4 is quite interesting. So basically what you do there is you enter a 0-0 game, and again I need to work out whether we use the same criteria, because if we use the same criteria of like the clear favourite and non-cup games, I think we probably should use that. But then what you do is, if the game's still 0-0 or a draw with 5 or 10 minutes to go, and I need to define that part, when it happens I'll get some sample data together to look at that. But what you do, which is interesting, you lay the draw with about 5 minutes to go, and the reason you do it with 5 minutes to go is it's going to be at its lowest possible state at that point. You know, it'll have been high at the start of the game, it'll get lower and lower and lower and lower during the game, to the point where if it's still a draw with only 5 minutes to go, that's the most likely outcome for the game, so that'll be the lowest odds for the result of that game. And then what you do then is you exit the market either when a goal is scored or at the end of the game, again to be predetermined. But when you think of how many goals go in the last 10 minutes of the game, and even in like injury time, 90 plus minutes, I'm going to have to give this theory, this strategy, a good little think, because I've thought about it. And you might think, well, what's the chances of a goal going in the last 5 or 10 minutes? Yeah, there is that. So the idea with this one is you'll not put that many trades on anyway, because you'd only be looking at games going into the last 5 or 10 minutes that are currently at a draw, but you'd still be looking at a team who's a clear, you've still got a clear favourite in the game to win. Now I'm just racking my brains, going through the previous 4 we've only actually got on 5 matches that were still a draw or 0-0 at half time. In fact, they're all 0-0 at half time. I haven't got on any yet that were like a score draw at half time, like 1s each or 2s each. So the only one I'm looking at is the Stoke Blackburn game, because the goal was in the 86th minute. So if we'd gone 10 minutes before, or even 5 minutes before, we would have got on that game at very, very low odds. I mean, I got on it at half time at 2.48. It was probably 2 or under for the draw to happen at the 86th minute. So we'll be looking at that. If any of the games go into 0-0 in the last few minutes, I'll look at the lay odds for the draw. But then the profit is going to be really, the profit's going to be higher if you got on. I need to work it out. You're sort of minimising the risk. You're not going to win as many trades, but when you do win, there's an opportunity to win more. And I just need to work that bit out. It's just something that I've looked at and seen, so yeah, I'm going to look into that one in a bit more detail and get back to you on it. So what I want to go through next is last night's games, and as you can see we didn't get on any last night. Not only did we not get on any, because every game had a goal before half time out of the 3 games. There was actually, if you tot those up, there was 8 goals in the first half across those 3 games alone. So when I said West Ham didn't have a hope in hell of, West Ham women that is, didn't have a hope in hell of keeping a clean sheet by half time, I think we were quite correct in that respect. Mind they did hold out for 21 minutes, which was better than Norwich against Chelsea and Watford against Wolves. They didn't last quite as long. But as you can see, the only goals that went in those 3 games were to the clear favourites. Wolves were 3-0 up by half time, Chelsea were 2-0 up by half time, and Chelsea women were 3-0 up by half time. So we didn't get on any of those. I've populated what I do for the ones I don't get on. I populate the final score just so I can go back and look at that at a future date. Populate whether the favourite won or not, and also populate whether we would have won on trading strategy 2 and trading strategy 3, which are all yeses as well. So strategy 2 and 3 is where you get on pre-game. There's a lot to be said for sort of 2 and 3, particularly 3, because still looking at 3 I wouldn't have lost anything yet, i.e. there's been no 0-0 draws. The only concern I've got with strategy 3 and 2 for that matter is getting on pre-game. The liability of some of these earlier the draws, I was going to say it's high risk, but it's not, because we've won every game. But I think as soon as you lose one on trading strategy 3, it's going to get rid of a hell of a lot of the profit you've made, because you can see some of these later draws here. I mean, Chelsea ladies against West Ham, sorry, women, it's got W and L, call them women, not ladies. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but Betfair put W in brackets, which stands for women obviously, so I'll call them that. But anyway, Chelsea women against West Ham women, laying the draw before the start of the game was 9.2. What that means is if we put before the game, even if we put a £2 lay bet on, our liability, something like, well, it's £18.40 minus a £2 stake, so that's £16.40 liability. Now the idea of this at some point is to scale up, or even if we don't talk about scaling up at the moment, if you take that £16.40 and apply it to all the profits we would have made out of all these, that's what I need to calculate actually. Because if we put a trade in against all these games here, we would obviously have profit, because we entered pre-game and we exited on the first goal on trading strategy 3. So we would have won every single trade. However, I'm not 100% sure how many. Well, certainly where the favourites score first, we would have won a profit on each trade, but where the underdog scores first, then we potentially would have lost money on those. Well, there's only 2 there, and there's another one up here, I think, Blackpool. That was an underdog win, or certainly an underdog scoring first. And actually, I do need to mark these up a little bit better, because this game here, Sunderland Fleetwood, even though Sunderland were favourites and went on to win, Fleetwood got the first goal, so that would have been trading out on strategy 3 at a very low profit, or no profit at all, or even a loss, because when did Fleetwood score? The 28th minute. We would have traded out after the sort of half-hour mark, and probably still lost a bit of money, because I think the draw at that point probably still wouldn't have been the best odds. So I do need to look at strategy 3 in more detail and how much we would have won and lost. I'm going to have to start getting some numbers together for these strategies. So back to scaling up then. If we were if we scaled up to times 10, and instead of £2 stakes across here, we were using £20 stakes, then this liability would be £54, 10 times as much. And then this liability for this game down here, instead of, well, it would still be odds of 9.2, but instead of £2 at 16.40, it's going to be £92. Sorry, just get this right. 20, it'll be, sorry, £180, £184 minus your £20 stake. So it would be 164 if I've got my sums right there. But whatever it is, I think it is 164. It's huge. But then again, assuming your bets, your trades are coming in this side, you're making a profit, would you be happy suffering 164 loss on that if you did lose it? But like I say, if you were using trading strategy 3, the only way you would lose on trading strategy 3 was if the game ended 0-0 each, or West Ham women scored first. Both were highly unlikely, but you know, it could have happened. I mean, West Ham women did get a goal. They ended up losing the game 4-1, so they scored a goal. So you know, I think it was, yeah, I think they scored at 3-0, so it went to 3-1 or 4-0 and 4-1, whichever it was. They could, if they got that goal first, we would have potentially exited out on strategy 3 and lost quite a bit of money there, I think. So I do need to do more work on the money, but again, concentrating on trading strategy 1. Excuse me. So we'll just plough on with that at the moment. Probably after this weekend, next week, I'll concentrate more on the actual numbers behind some of the other strategies and what we would have won and lost on each strategy. I'll need to change the spreadsheet or do a different sheet or something for that. And the only concern I have for doing it is I might have to sit through each game and, you know, quickly jump on the odds when a market suspends, when a goal goes in. I'll have to jump on Betfair and see what the odds were. I'm not sure if I can go back historically and look at what happened to those odds. It would be useful if I could, but I'm not sure if that data is available anywhere. So anyway, moving on to tonight, I've shortlisted 5 games applying our entry criteria from previous videos. You need to go back and watch those if you want to know that. I'm not going to go into that in more detail now because we know what it is, so we're in here doing the shortlisting. So I've got 5 games for this evening. We've got West Brom against Huddersfield. West Brom haven't been doing too well lately because obviously Steve Bruce took over, which is never going to help you. Apologies to West Brom fans. And I know they dropped quite reasonably down. I think they were down to mid-table. I thought Huddersfield were doing alright, but at the end of the day, the bookies are saying they're clear favourites for this game. So that's what we go with. So I'm just trying to look at the tables. Actually, Huddersfield are 3rd, so I'm not even sure why they are so high favourites. I thought Huddersfield must have dropped down to about mid-table as well, but I'm looking at the table now. West Brom are 13th and Huddersfield are 3rd. West Brom are on 49 points and Huddersfield are on 62. I don't know why they're such clear favourites. I might look at that one before the game, make sure it doesn't creep over 2. I think it was on 1.88 yesterday. But the West Brom won their last game and I'm not sure what Huddersfield's recent form is. I haven't populated these numbers yet, I'll do that. But at the moment, even if I get a 3 or a 4, I'm going to jump on them anyway if they're 0-0 at half time. Anyway, that top game, there's the odds. I'm not arguing. I'm not sort of contradicting form and my sort of football knowledge input on these. I'm just going purely with these numbers from the bookies, the current odds. You can see of all the 5 favourites in these games, West Brom are by clear the least favourite anyway, and then Lille in this game, and then you've got Atletico, and then Benfica, and then Ajax. So you know, and that's represented by the odds on the draw as well, in the draw. So those are the 5 games I've just mentioned there. There's a good example there. If you can't pronounce the team, you shouldn't be backing them on match betting, is how the saying goes, or certainly if you don't know which country they play in. I would probably back on this game on match betting because they're playing Ajax, which is a high profile team in the Dutch league. So who, you know, I can't pronounce, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of who Ajax are playing this evening. So then we've got Benfica, who are high profile in Portugal obviously, but again, like I say, on the Betfair exchange, it doesn't matter if these were like Bangladeshi first division games or Saudi Arabian first division teams. There's no issues with trading on them because the markets are there to be traded on. The only issues you might have is if there isn't any liquidity or any money in the market. We shouldn't hit that problem at the moment with only putting £2 stakes on there, but what I'm trying to do anyway is just to keep it familiar, as puts, you know, just shortlist sort of games and teams that we should be familiar with or have heard of in the UK. So moving on to tomorrow's games, I've actually shortlisted quite a few. I've gone through the first 4 divisions actually. We've got quite a few there actually, which is quite nice because I need some more sample data. And they're 18, so I don't mind blowing 36 quid on these. Even it's unlikely they're all gonna lose based on previous data, and it's unlikely we'll get on all 16 anyway based on 18. It's unlikely we're going to get on all 18 anyway based on previous data. You can see it's only the green ones we're getting on here. But even if we did get on them all and they all lost, I'm quite happy to forego £36. That's the worst case. Well, sorry, it's not that's the liability, but I'm quite happy to stake, £36 to get on these, just to get some more sample data together. I feel as though I've been doing this a week now. I know it's going to take a long time. It's like you have to be patient, but I'm just keen to get in and do a bit more work on this, which I'd be happy if everybody follows along. Going into the reason this weekend might be a bit sketchy. Going into the reason it's Friday and I've already prepped these candidates up for tomorrow is that I've got a friend's birthday tomorrow and we're going out. And said friend happens to be a Liverpool fan from Newcastle, which is a big no-no anyway. Yeah, really, he shouldn't be my friend. But I've known him for quite a while. It's not his fault he supports Liverpool. It was the way he was brought up, I suppose. And nothing against Liverpool supporters, but I'm true. But obviously, when you're from Newcastle, you're true believer and support where you come from. But I know that isn't the case for everyone. There's no problems. I'm only just sort of jesting a bit about him. Anyway, it's his birthday, so we're going out for drinks tomorrow. And obviously, Liverpool are playing in the early game, so we're going out to watch that match. I mean, obviously, being Newcastle fan myself, will be supporting Liverpool, so Brighton don't get the points. However, I'm doing these now because I'm going to be out and about, and unfortunately, there'll be some alcohol involved. And what I'd probably advise there is probably don't place any bets if you're out socialising or anything like that, because you're likely to make a mess. It's likely to get messy tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. I am going to, obviously, I'll be meeting in town around 12:15. Not planning on getting there any earlier. So I will be able to, I don't expect that Brighton Liverpool game to be 0-0 at half time, although there is a chance, so that'll be about 1:15. Should be okay to place that half time lay if it's still 0-0. As for the rest, there's a Barnsley Fulham early game as well, 12:30, so I should, again, if both of those are still 0-0, I'll get on those. And then the 3 o'clock games will be about by 3:45, 4 o'clock at half time, and those games will be about 3 or 4 hours into a bit of a session, so I will try and get on those, but there is quite a few. I'm just looking at it now. There's 18 in total. There's only 3 that are on 3 o'clock, so that's going to be potentially 15 games. So the more goals in those games and the less I have to lay at half time at between 3:45 and 4 o'clock, probably the better. But because I'll be doing it on mobile phone as well, which I don't normally do. So I've got my Betfair Exchange app loaded up. I normally do all this on like a laptop or a PC. So, and as for there's only one late game, which is the Crystal Palace Man City. That's going to be 9:15 at half time. I can't promise anything for that, guys. You're just going to have to bear with us. I'll have a look on Sunday morning to see if I got a lay bet on that one at all. But again, I'd expect a goal on that one by the end of 45 minutes, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but that's the reason this list is already here for Saturday. I wouldn't normally prep up a day in advance. I'd normally do them on the morning of the games. There's a couple down here you can see that are very, very close to 2, and sometimes you'll see this early in the day, when it's the day before. Sometimes on match day you'll probably see these odds move a little bit. Now it could easily go down to 1.95, 1.94 for Exeter to beat Salford there, but it could easily just go the other way as well. Like I say, I think West Brom are 1.88. yesterday, but now they're 1.93, so they're moving out. If any of these move out over 2, I'll take them off the list. In fact, if any of them move up to 2.0, I'll take them off the list, because I nearly got stung with a 2.0 up here, remember. It was the Stoke Blackpool game. That was 2 before the game, and I decided to go under 2 after that because Blackpool scored in the 86th minute. It's not nothing scientific, and it was only one sample game, but I honestly thought that was going to be the first loss there after the 3rd game. It wasn't. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get on a bit more this Saturday, because drinks permitting and state of me permitting, but hopefully we'll get on a bit more this Saturday, because I feel like this week we've prepped a lot of games here and we've only got on 2. That was that was Sunday as well. Sorry, this is the only one we've got on during the week. That's Saturday. This is Sunday. We actually got on 3 out of 5 on Saturday. Sorry, 3 out of 6 there we got on, which is 50%. And I just, for some reason, I'd obviously assumed that was the kind of ratio we were going to see, but it's dropped way off. I mean, I'm not bothered. It's obviously just going to take longer. Patience is a virtue, as I say. So we'll just have to take longer getting the sample data together. But I do think we're also getting some decent sampling data against things that we didn't get on, and whether, if we applied a different strategy, whether we got on them and whether we would have won. The only thing I'm missing out here, like I've said earlier, is that we don't know how much profit and how much loss we would have made. It's okay saying we would have traded out on all these trades, but we need to know how many of those were going to be profitable, because obviously if you take a big loss on 1 or 2 of them, then you're not representing the full data set. Also on this one here, you can see where we have got 2 zeros in here. They were actually on trading strategy 2, where we've got no exit and the game's ended in a draw. We would have actually lost our whole liability on those 2. But then again, we would have actually won the full bet. So I could probably work trading strategy 2 out, because we know the liability for them. We don't actually. Sorry, we don't, because I didn't put the £2 bet on. I don't know what the draw odds were at the time. I might start capturing the draw odds regardless of the half-time result, and if I don't get on them, because I'm capturing the full-time score and the results over here. I'd only need to capture the half-time lay odds, this column here. If I capture this column for everything, even if I don't get a trade on, that might be a good idea. Actually, 2's entry pre-game, so I don't need to do that. Yeah, sorry, I can work 2 out. I'm getting confused there. I'm confusing myself. I can work 2 out because for these 2 that failed to win, I know what the liability was, because we know what the we know what the liability would have been, because for this game here, Bournemouth Peterborough, for example, the draw was 6.6. So if we'd put £2 on that pre-game, which is trading strategy 2 pre-game, that would have been £13.20 minus the £2 stakes. That would have been £11.20. We would have lost on that one. So I'll work trading strategy 2 out, profit and loss for each game, and I'll put another column in against them and see. I won't be able to do 3 for the simple fact that I don't have the exit prices for each game. Okay, that's it for now. I'll speak to you after a messy Saturday. We'll get back on it on Sunday. Thanks now. Bye.